First question will be Irish Norvell from War Champ on your right.
How you doing, Connor?
I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. What's been your first few weeks like in Tallahassee, and what, if you could just kind of take us back through the decision to transfer here?
It's been great. It's been kind of everything I expected it to be. I'm still getting used to the it's not a huge city, but it's a bigger city than Auburn, obviously. So it was a not culture shock, but it's a little bit more like where I'm from. The vibe more like where I'm from. So it's been great. The people here, the fans, the coaches, my teammates have really kind of set me with open arms, and coming from a program, they know I kind of know how to work. They know I know how to carry myself and those kind of things. So it's kind of an easy transition, and that was good. So I'm just excited to be here. I'm happy they accepted me with such, because you come in somewhere new, it's kind of like I don't know how I'm gonna. Especially me, I'm more of a to myself guy, and a lot of guys here haven't really allowed me to be to myself, which is good. So I can open up out of my shell a little bit. So I'm happy about that.
Our next question will be Brendan Sinone from Knowles 247, second row on your left.
Oh, can you walk us through the process of deciding to transfer? You obviously were a starter for multiple years at a good program. So I guess, was that a difficult decision, and what kind of conversations did you have with your family to enter the portal? And secondly, I guess, what were you looking for your new home?
Oh yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest decisions of my life, man. I love Auburn to death. I still love Auburn. I graduated from there. It'll always be home. It's 30 minutes from my house, so it's always been kind of a home for me. But it was just kind of time. It was nothing negative on either side. I appreciate them, all they done for me. Even the new coaching staff reaching out to me like they did. I appreciate them. My old coaches, Coach Mazine, Coach Harson, all of them, the whole coaching staff, they showed nothing but love to me. So I appreciate them. But it was just kind of time, and I felt like I was looking for a place that kind of already had a culture set, and that was big for me. And watching Florida State win 10 games it shows a lot about what Coach Norvell is building here and what he's continuing to build and set their foundation every day. And that was huge for me, being an older guy, not really wanting to go through the whole rebuilding process again. And like I said, Auburn's gonna be great. They're gonna be just fine. But I just kind of come on the back end of my college career. I wanted to walk into something that was like, okay, this is how we work. This is how they know how to set, so they can lead me in a way, and then I turn over and lead them back. So it was a big decision and a tough decision to make, but I just felt like it was time.
Next will be Chris Nee from Knowles 247, front row on your left.
How much did you know Coach Atkins going into this process, and what was it about him that stood out to you, since that will be your position coach?
I actually didn't know him that much, to be honest with you. I've heard great things about him. Obviously, when I entered the portal, it was a kind of a whirlwind, but even a lot of my teammates back at Auburn that had been recruited by him were like, he's a great guy. And talked to guys here who's a great guy, said he was a great guy, and even guys that have left or something like that, they say he was a great guy. So it was kind of the way he did research on me before he even started recruiting me, which was a big deal to me, because he asked around coaches that had coached me before and asked around about me and knew how I was. Like I said, I'm kind of a to myself guy, and he was telling me just, even one other thing he told me was that leading don't have to be like out loud. Like leading don't have to be like you yelling at everybody. It can be just you telling somebody, hey, come on. You hey, telling somebody, give them a high five, let them know you with them, that kind of thing. And he just he did his research before he got to me, and that stood out to me a lot, because in this business of college football, you don't really see that as much, especially as an older guy. So that was huge for me.
All right, we'll stay over there for Zach.
Keiondre, I guess, what was the portal recruiting process like for you, taking visits, and then ultimately, how did you come to your decision to choose Florida State?
It was difficult. It was definitely difficult. I say I talked to a lot of schools. I ended up, it was a shortened kind of window for me, because I graduated late on, like I think it was like December. I don't remember, December, late in December, but it was middle of December, and I didn't want to go anywhere before then. So that first weekend that we could go anywhere, I wasn't going anywhere because I had finals coming up and that kind of thing. So I had to kind of schedule all my visits within a week, and that was the kind of hard part of telling schools that I was interested in, but it was like, hey, I might not be able to come because I only got 4 or 5 days, and I know I've narrowed it down a little bit more to where I want to go, that kind of thing. So that was the difficult part about it. I was blessed to have talked to a bunch of different schools and get to talk to them and that kind of thing, and experience their culture and their coaching, that kind of thing. But yeah, once I got down here on my visit, I had been talking to a lot of players, a lot of coaches a lot beforehand, and it just kind of felt like home. Once I got down here, I got out, and I was like, yeah, this is it. I felt really, really at peace and at home. I just kind of knew.
Alright, we'll go back to Ira on your right.
How important, like, were your family and other people around you in terms of helping you make the decision?
It's kind of my mom's, even when I was in high school going through her recruiting process, my granny's kind of she's just happy with me wherever I'm at. She doesn't really understand. She understands, but she doesn't understand it. My mom is the one that's my right hand lady, but she wasn't like too, I'm not, influential is not a good word. She wasn't pushing me to go somewhere or pushing me not to go somewhere. She trusts my judgment. She's raised me since I'm 22 years old now. She's raised me the best she could and the best I see fit. So she kind of trusts my judgment. So it was more so of I'm with you wherever you want to go. I'm gonna stand behind you. She's my person reader. She's great at reading people. So I want her with me everywhere I go. So she can be like, I think he kind of shooting you a little bit, or no, I like what he's saying. So she's always that, but she's never gonna be like, if I wanted to go 15 hours away, she wasn't gonna be like, nah, I want you close to home. She's never gonna be that. She's just always like, wherever you at, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna be supporting you regardless. So it's never been a worry with her pushing me to go somewhere or pushing me to leave somewhere or something like that. So she was always just kind of, she made sure she know she had my back and that kind of thing. So it was always, I appreciate her for that.
Alright, we'll go to the back for Aslan Hajavandi from Warchant.
Keiondre, I know coaches don't promise playing time, but when it comes to being recruited, you're on your last season, they lost their 2 starting guards. I mean, what are the kind of conversations like to let you know that what the opportunity is for you to get on the field quickly? And how important is that for you in your last year?
Oh yeah, it's very important to me, obviously, but nothing's gonna be promised here, especially now the competitive room like we have here. The message has always been to earn it, and that's what kind of drew me here. Obviously, too, to be honest with you, it wasn't like a you gonna come in and we gonna just give you the spot. This is your spot. Nah, they got good dudes in this room. And they brought in good dudes in the room, so it's earned. Just got to go in there, prove I can work and learn the playbook and do everything in my power. But what he did tell me was, if I do everything in my power, and I know this myself, I do everything in my power, and I don't step on the field, it's gonna be because of me, not because of somebody else. So that's the biggest thing for me is I just gotta look myself in the mirror and did I get it done? Did I not get it done? That's the bottom line. So I'm thinking about it, just earn it. That's all I gotta do.
Alright, we're gonna come to the Zoom for a couple questions. We're gonna start with Matt Baker from the Tampa Bay Times.
Hey Keiondre, Florida State's got one of the top couple transfer classes in the country. Obviously, you're a part of that. Why is FSU such an attractive destination for transfers who had plenty of options like yourself?
Why not? That's the biggest thing to me, honestly. It's Florida. It's a 10 wins, coming off a 10-win season. I think a lot of guys who are kind of on the back end of their career or looking to do something special with their career, they know that we got some special going on here, and that's talking to anybody who might enter the portal soon too. Just keep your eyes open about Florida State, especially down here, man. I'm telling you, we got high hopes, we got championship hopes and championship goals. I don't even want to say hope. That's what we expect. So that was big to me. Coming from a program where that was the same expectation of championship went year in, year out. That was big for me to come in somewhere like this to have the same type of expectation and proving they can do it recently. So it's time to take the next step and just kind of be a part of that, be part of something special.
Alright, we're gonna stay here for Logan Robinson from Noel Game Day.
Welcome to Tallahassee, Keiondre. Quick question. Coming from Auburn now over here to Tallahassee and Florida State, what have you seen maybe difference-wise, and also you acclimating to Florida State's workouts and the tour of duty with Coach Storms and the strength and conditioning staff?
The acclimation part has been, well, personally wise, it's been a little bit different just because like the city and everything like that. But workouts wise, one thing that coming from Auburn we worked. So I'm used to having the hard workouts, the intense workouts, the moving a lot of weight fast, doing everything the right way. The tour duty was it's difficult, but it's a blessing to go through it. Teach you a lot about yourself, and like I said, I've been through this type of thing before, and I appreciate the opportunity to even go through it again. And it's difficult. It is difficult, but it's one of those things that it teaches you that you can be stronger than you think you can. And I've kind of learned it over the last 4 to 5 years. So it's exciting to see like the back end of it from where I was my first time doing something like this, my freshman year, that kind of thing. So I'm excited.
Okay, last one from Zoom will be Jerry Kutz from the Osceola.
You mentioned that you got your degree from Auburn. Can you tell me what you
I got my degree in fitness, conditioning, and performance, and right now I'm looking at either working on my master's or getting a certificate type program or something like that, and just kind of building on what I've already started. So that's something I'm kind of taking this semester to kind of fill out and figure out what I want to do with that, and just take it from there.
All right, we'll come back to Ira, second row on your right.
Obviously, you were busy during the season, but when you got into this process, did you go back and look at any of Florida State's games?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you see how they played, like against LSU or Oklahoma or any of those kind of games?
Oh yeah, that was definitely huge for me. As soon as luckily I got YouTube TV, so I've got every college football game was broadcast this year recorded live, so I could watch every school that I was looking at. I had watched 4 or 5 of their games. I watched the Florida game, the LSU game. I think I watched the NC State game, Georgia Tech, obviously Oklahoma because I was already committed at that point. But that was big for me to watch how they play. And one thing that was huge for me was Coach Atkins, when he came to my house, he told me that they do this thing where the offensive line fist bumps in between every play. So I'm thinking like, I ain't never seen somebody do that before. So I go back and watch the game and you're like, oh, it's like, they do this before every play for real. That's kind of huge because it's like, it's big because it's like no matter what happened last play, no matter how tired I am, no matter how long this drive going, no matter how bad this game going, no matter how good this game going, I still got you to my right and my left. That's a big deal, especially playing the offensive line. And on any team, the offensive line is probably gonna be one of the more tight-knit groups. So to see that and understand the symbolism behind that and what that means to everybody in the room is special.
All right, we'll go back to Brendan, second row on your left.
You mentioned like that there's a decent amount of competition in the offensive line room earlier. Can you talk about just the group that's coming transfer-wise, the guys who are returning, young guys, just what this group can potentially evolve into as the season progresses?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be, and the good thing about it with me is I like about it is it's a competitive group, extremely competitive group. We got a lot of talent in that room, young guys, old guys, last year, first year, that kind of thing. And it's no shade though. It's no like I'm not gonna help you because you trying to take my spot. It's not like that. It's not none of that at all. It's kind of because everybody know that if I'm at my best and you're at your best and you play over me, then you at your best. Still, you playing against somebody who hasn't seen anything like you at your best and that kind of thing. So I think that's big too, knowing that it's not like it's no shade, it's no shady, it's no hating in the room, it's none of that kind of stuff. But everybody won't help everybody because they know at the end of the day where we want to get, we got to put the best 5 guys on the field regardless of who it is. And if you want to win a championship, you can't be selfish and like, well, I feel like I should be playing, and this, so I'm not gonna help this kid when he could get it done better than I could. It just kind of is what it is, and that's where it comes to looking in the mirror type thing I was talking about, and understanding what you can and what you can't do well, and getting better at that, and understanding that if you don't get better, even if you are a starter, if you don't get better, it's a young guy or even an old guy right behind you. Like, if I don't get this right, if I'm one step away from being out the field, that kind of thing. So that's big, and it's huge. Like I said, not having any hate in the room, that kind of thing.
We'll go back to Chris on the front row.
You've played for a couple different head coaches, obviously been recruited in both processes by a ton of different head coaches. What about Coach Norvell stood out?
First thing, obviously, is his energy. That's kind of the first time I met him. Like I got here, and he yelled at me, my mom, and it wasn't even like a yell. It was just the good morning he always said. And it scared the heck out of me. I'm just like, okay. And I wasn't used to that because obviously, you know, I playing for Coach Mazan. He's an old kind of laid back kind of guy. He brings a lot of energy and that kind of thing. And Coach Harsin was more of a laid back, but he'd get up too. But that yelling, I was like, whoa, is he mad or is he like, what's going on? Did I already do something wrong? But the energy was just, but honestly, the look in his eye. We sat down and talked, him, me, my mom, and the look in his eye. He just kind of, and he never brought up the 10 wins as like, yeah, we got 10 wins this season. It was like, we got 10 wins, so now what? Like he was never like, this was the end goal. This is what we're trying to. Nah, he looked me in my eyes and he was like, we trying to go somewhere way. This is just the start of where we're trying to get to, and kind of laying the foundation. The foundation is pretty much laid, but we obviously got some stuff we got to work on, and it's always up to go and that kind of thing. So just knowing that, looking him in his eyes and seeing the fire behind his eyes, and just knowing that, okay, yeah, he's serious about what he's trying to do.
All right, we're gonna go to Aslan again in the back.
Coach Norvell's used the portal a lot, obviously, to help this roster get better. He's told the team that like he won't bring guys into the locker room that won't be able to fit in. You came from somewhere you've been for 4 years. You know, how important was it for you to be able to fit in somewhere, and have you kind of seen like-minded people around you? And how does that make you feel?
Oh yeah, that was big for me. Just coming around a place. That's why it was so big for me to go to a place that had a culture kind of set already, and that was a huge deal. And I know the kind of people I want to be around. I know the kind of competitors I want to be around, and that doesn't mean that tempers aren't gonna flare or we're not gonna argue or that kind of thing. Let's be honest, we all grown men, we all got egos and and that's gonna happen. That's part of it. But the thing about here is, and a lot of places around the country do, but it's special is that we can do that, and we can argue on the field, walk back in the locker room, like, all right, bro, you straight? Yeah, we straight. It doesn't carry over. That's huge, and because like I said, being the competitors that we are, you don't get to this level of football in general without being that kind of competitor and having that kind of streak about you. So that was huge for me to be around people that had that, and also people that I can be around off the field that don't make me feel like, oh, he weird, he this, he that. Because that's big. Because to allow a guy to be himself, especially an older guy, that kind of thing, and not. I've known a bunch of guys on the team here already for a while, and that was kind of a big thing that said to me about that when you get here, it won't even it's honestly, it was never. I never felt like a new guy. You know, besides like learning the plays and learning how we do stuff, like the little things. But in the locker room, I never felt like a new guy. It was never like, let me shy away from it. Nah, everybody was like, what's up, bro? You straight? How you doing? You good? Everything going? You need something? That kind of thing. So it was always real special. Yeah.
All right, we got time for 2 more. We'll go right here.
Coach Atkins has said that one of the reasons he likes bringing in experienced players is that sometimes they can bring things they've learned in the previous schools. Was that something he expressed to you, and is that something you think you can add to him?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was one of the biggest things that he told me was, cause like I said, I'm such a to myself guy. He was like, you have so much knowledge and you play so much ball that you can help these young guys so much just because you've seen things and you've done things that a lot of these guys are trying to do and trying to get to that level. And that's one thing that I've always prided myself on, leaving the place better than I found it anyway. It's little things like that allow he doesn't mind me being like I'm not gonna say good cop, but he get on somebody's tail all practice and I come behind him like, bro, look, you see what he's saying, but you also gotta understand that he comes from a good place. That's kind of that kind of thing, and kind of bridging that gap between the old coach, he's not old, but the coach and the young guy that kind of got in high school, or even if you've been here for a couple of years and that kind of thing, just don't understand it yet. It's kind of bridging that gap, and that's big to be able to do that without having to look over his shoulder and be like, oh, what if he gonna think if I say this? So he could allow you to lead, and I'm not gonna teach somebody wrong because if I feel like it's right, and if I'm questioning whether it's right or wrong, I'm not gonna tell you, because I don't want to lead nobody in the wrong direction, tell them I do the wrong thing. So that was always big for me, for him allowing me, even early on, learn the plays, and because the plays kind of are what they are in college football, and football in general, you can only do so much, to be honest with you. So learning little tricks and little trades and eye placement and hand placement and little things like that being in a room with 20 guys, you can't teach everybody specifically, but me being the same body type as somebody else, I can be like, look, this kind of worked for me, maybe you should try it. If it don't work, then cool, but at least try it, just kind of figure it out, that kind of thing. So that was pretty big for me.
All right, last one, we'll go back to Brendan on your left.
Coming from the SEC, I imagine you've been in some pretty good battles in the trenches. What are a couple of games that you would maybe suggest for Florida State fans to go back and watch that show off your skill set, what you can do against the highest level of competition?
Oh yeah, some of my favorite games were Texas A&M this year. That was fun. I kind of got back to myself a little bit after that. I had been in a little bit of a slump myself personally. For the season, Texas A&M, I allowed myself to kind of be back to what I could be. Ole Miss this year, LSU a year ago. But those are some games that were just like, yeah, this is fun. Once you're having fun out there, it's special. It's a great feeling and that kind of thing. So those are just some of my favorite games. And even games I didn't play as well in, like the Penn State game a year ago up there. I didn't play my best game. I didn't play bad by any means, but I didn't play my best game. But that was still like, we should have won that game. But that was still one of those. That's one of those you walk around the stadium, you just like take a breath, take it all in, the whiteout, all that kind of stuff. That was big. And obviously you got the Iron Bowls and those kind of things, and that tells a lot about college football. Those big time rivalries and those big time teams and those big time games. So that was a big for me.
All right, thanks, Keiondre.